the Art and Industry of Business and Living podcast, discussing conscious choices around business, money, life and living, and creating a greater future for you and the planet. Hi everybody, you're with Simone Milasas, your host, and welcome to the Art and Industry of Business and Living. So I have one of my favorite guests, and I have so many favorite guests, but this is a special one in particular. So welcome, David Kubes.
Good morning, everyone.
David is, actually, you're here in Australia at the moment. You're staying in Noosa, overlooking the beach, right? You've got a nice little penthouse there.
Yes, with a beautiful terrace, beautiful sunny day, and it's actually warm, which is pretty cool for December. Back home in Europe, it's about -2 degrees and foggy and raining. So
wow,
I'm lucky.
I know. We were just looking at the weather and all around the world because Brendan's off to Austria at the beginning of January. It's freezing.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's off to Hungary and he's like, that's even colder. And if you're listening to this and you're from one of those places, then you're like, what? This is just normal. Well, here in Australia, it gets so hot over Christmas. Like Christmas is usually one of the hottest days of the year. You do anything you can to be in air conditioning or be in some body of water. I was just saying to David before we started, we've had a lot of rain here, which has been amazing. Like you see the color of the grass. It's spectacular is what I want to say. So everyone's decided it's a beautiful sunny day to get their lawnmowers out. So I actually just heard another one start up. So I'm surrounded by 3 lawnmowers. So I have shut all the windows and doors and hopefully you don't hear that noise out there. But that's what's happening. And you know what? If you hear it, oh, well. And it's like that's people enjoying summer, mowing their lawn. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. One of the many things that David Kubes has huge capacities with and has available for everyone out there in the world to come to one of his classes is he's a Right Riches for You facilitator. So he's an access consciousness facilitator, but also a Right Riches for You facilitator. So this covers, so many topics. And it's interesting brand and specialty, I find, because so many people, when they hear Right Riches for You, it's like how many judgments come up in their world of what riches is. And one of the questions that David receives a lot is what makes you money, not what is actually fun for you. So that's something I wanted to explore today, because I do remember years ago, this woman who had done access consciousness for quite a few years, and she watched what I chose and she watched how I increased things in my life. And she was dead serious when she said to me, what is the question that you asked that changed everything? And I was like, it's not one question. It's questioning every day and every single moment of the day, the choices that you make, and knowing that each choice you make creates a different future, and be willing to have whatever future that is that shows up and be willing to change it, on a dime, like at any moment. So it's not one magic question. So what I wanted to talk to you today and ask you, David, is how do you see, what could you offer for the listeners out there too on the Right Riches for You and starting to look at what's fun for them, not just what makes you money, because there's a level of sort of greed that goes with that. Or I want to say the energy of necessity rather than choice and joy.
That's correct. And this is why actually the name of the class or the name of Right Riches triggers so many judgments, because everybody goes directly into, okay, how can I become rich? And how can I make more money? How can I get more money? And because of being vested in the idea of right riches only means a lot of money, people kind of get lost and get distracted from what is actually fun for them. They are so vested in the outcome being money only that they cut off a whole universe of other things in life that they could also enjoy and see as part of their riches, part of their wealth, part of their fun. My point of view is that the money that you earn is always the byproduct of the things that you do. And the more fun you have, automatically the more money you will create or the more wealth you will create. It doesn't have to show up on your bank account only. There are so many ways that life can contribute to you to make you feel rich, to make you feel wealthy. So by just being interested in money and asking the question, how can I make more money? A lot of people cut out so many possibilities. And my aim or my idea of being a Right Riches facilitator is actually to empower people to allow themselves to be more interested in what's fun for them and actually train them or untwist their idea that they have to make money. It's kind of turning their autoresponder around. So it's not, when they look at something that they actually want to create, they always go, okay, will that make me money? How much money can I make? They don't ask the question, will it be fun for me? And if they do ask the question, well, will it be fun? Yes, but how can it make money? How can this turn into an income stream? They rather limit themselves right away before even starting an idea. And this is where I actually want to pick them up, and where I want to assist them, asking the right questions in the right moment so that they don't get distracted and more focus on what's fun for them rather than what makes them money.
So let's do something here, David, because, I can hear listeners going, because, we're talking about right riches for you, which right at the beginning, you mentioned that, the amount of judgments that people have of that. So they're asking for money to show up, and yet you're putting these two things together, wealth and money showing up and what's fun for you. And I see so many people who, they think they're asking for money, and yet they have so many points of view of why they either, A, don't deserve it, or shouldn't get it, or it's greedy, or, money is the root of all evil. Like all of these different points of view that you grow up with. I mean, one of the sayings in Nashville, Tennessee, I love is don't go above your raisin. It's like you're not meant to, go above what anyone else in your family is actually creating. So first off, let's do this. Anyone out there who is listening who has that point of view that is looking to not go above their raisin, they're not allowed to earn more money than who they currently surround themselves by, whether it be family, friends, or foe, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, go check out theclearingstatement.com. It's brilliant, it works, it's amazing. So what are your judgments of riches is what I would ask. And this is how you can use this. It's so easy. What are your judgments of riches? And everything that is times a godzillion when you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. David, when I first started dating Brendan, like 7 years ago, I remember going to pick him up at his mum's house, and I had a convertible BMW. And of course I had the roof down. I was enjoying it, And Brendan gets in the car and he goes, can you put the roof up? And I was like, sure. So I thought, oh, okay, he might not want to mess up his hair. He might be cold, or I don't know. I didn't really think about it, but I put the roof up. And he only told me about a year ago that his point of view when he first met me was if you drove a BMW with the roof down, you were a rich wanker. And I don't know if that translates well around the world, like if everyone, but okay, cool. So you were a rich wanker, and it was so funny. And the other day I walked out of the supermarket and he's waiting in the car for me in my BMW with the roof down, just on his phone texting. And I was like, oh my God, you look so much like a rich wanker. And we both started laughing because it's like to receive that judgment, or even the willingness to acknowledge that he had that judgment. And it's like, how much do you cut off and how much do you cut out of what you can receive in life from the judgments you have? So my first recommendation, tools, processes, everything is start running. What judgment do I have of riches? And everything that is times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. You can just say POC and POD, all that stuff. Because you've decided that something, destroy and uncreate it, because you've decided something about riches that isn't true, that stops you from receiving.
And it stops you from creating. So many people rather stop their creation in order to fit in that reality's point of view. One of the strongest points of view that I was faced with was that money changes your character. Once you get rich, you become an asshole. So this is what, especially in Europe, a lot of people function from. As soon as you're rich, as soon as you have more money than you actually need to survive, you become an asshole.
Which is so strange. I mean, listen to even the way when you say it, it's like, what happens? Like, oh, I made a lot of money this week, so then I wake up tomorrow and I become an asshole. It's like, it's crazy.
But this is what Europe functions from. And a lot of people who have a lot of money then force themselves to do charity and do something for the poor just to not fit into that image. So the second thing I would actually do, or what I would suggest that everybody does, is destroy and uncreate all these sayings and all these ideas of this reality that money is something bad, that money changes the character, that too much money is something you shouldn't ask for because it will come back in a negative way to you. This is one of the biggest ideas or spiritual ways this reality functions from. Too much money is something bad.
So what we have in Access is we call these like SHICU implants and explants, which is secret, hidden, invisible, covert, unseen, unsaid, and unacknowledged implants and explants. So as David was saying, it's these things that you say constantly, like over and over again. It's like this thought process that goes into your head that, you know, if I have lots of money, then I'm going to be an asshole. So you tend to create it because it's an implant or an explant. It's not even your point of view. So everything that is, all the SHICU implants and explants that you have around money and riches has got the energy on it, where you destroy and uncreate it. Times of God's Ian, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I mean, I love Access Consciousness because it's the insane points of view that lock us up. If we could work everything out with our logical mind, we'd have everything we ever desired.
Correct.
But it's the insane points of view. These insane points of view keep you limited. And you know what, guys? Now is the time. The wait is over. Have you had enough? Let's do this. Let's make your reality.
Well, this was actually the reason why I was choosing to become a Right Riches facilitator, because I so much loved the idea of focusing on fun rather than on money. Because if you keep on spinning that thought that a lot of money will come back in a bad way or turns you into a bad person, if you combine loads of money with fun, that actually cannot happen, because happy people are not mean. So frustrated people can be mean, or rather tend to be mean, than people who actually enjoy their life. So for me, the essence of Right Riches is if everybody does what's fun for them, we have more happy than frustrated people in the world. And then we can actually change the entire point of view of this reality that loads of money is something bad, because more happy, rich people will show up. And this is actually what I intend to do with my classes, with my facilitation, to kind of get people into focusing on, hey, what's fun, what works for me, how or what would I need to do in my life that I wake up every morning being happy.
Okay. So, David, let's talk about this for a second, because I can feel the frustration in people's worlds when you keep mentioning fun. So how do people start to find their fun, find their happy? It's like, what would you recommend?
Well, the first thing is they should cut out every big yes but that turns up in their head when they think of things that are fun for them. A lot of people function from, okay, it has to be hard work to make a lot of money. They will focus on work-life balance. If they could start a game, like playing with energies, playing with ideas, dreaming like kids. I want to become a princess. I want to become this. Just look at your life and go back and look at, okay, what did I do yesterday? What was fun? What was a burden? And what would need to occur tomorrow that I would kind of wake up being totally excited? It's not this, oh my God, the alarm clock was ringing. You wake up even before the alarm clock rings and you can't wait to start your day. What would that be?
That's me and that's you. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and and don't go into how can I make money with it. No, just focus on what would that be. You need to find it first. And then the second question, and this is part 2, is, okay, can I make money out of that? Is there a way to turn that fun stuff into a revenue stream? But the first game or the first practice is, what's actually fun for me? And this can be anything. Just play with it like a little child. Allow yourself to be childish. Allow yourself to be totally insane. But just go into the energy of waking up with that, wow, I can't wait to start my day. And this is how you actually train your own mind. This is how you manipulate yourself into finding what's fun for you. Because once you know how that feels, once you did that one time, you know it also cognitively, and then you will have more ease finding more of that.
I like that. And it's like, if I use myself as a guinea pig here, David, it's like, almost 11 a.m. in Australia, and I've been up since 5. And then, if I look at what was fun for me, I mean, it's so funny because my first thing is I love having a coffee in the morning. It's one of my favorite things. Like, it's fun to make a good coffee and enjoy that coffee, and then start to look at your day of like, okay, what am I going to create? But it's fun for me to start my day like that. And then I did a telecall, which was awesome, on getting out of debt joyfully for the book that I wrote. It was the last call of the year for our year-long course, and it was brilliant. And then I worked out with my sister-in-law. And it was interesting because I don't know if you know Tabata, one of the apps, and you do 20 seconds exercise, 10 seconds rest, 20 seconds exercise. And we did a whole Tabata session. But the app that I have goes rest. and then it rests, and then it goes exercise, rest, exercise, and we kept laughing about it. And I said, you could make a really fun app to have as a Tabata session, because you never get time to rest. It's just get to your next exercise. Like, it's like, if you're walking from one end of the room to the other, it's not really rest, but you could make a joke of it and be like, come on, this is your last session, And I was talking to Sarah about, what if you created an app for people doing workouts in hotel rooms, because we travel so much, but you could do that Tabata things. The fun factors that I've already had today, and then looking at the aspect of, okay, could you make money from that? Could that be a revenue stream? I love making coffee and drinking coffee, but I'm not about to be a barista. That would drive me crazy, making coffee for other people.
No, but I love your approach on that. First of all, there's another thing I would love to share with all the listeners. A lot of people function from first you need to do the hard work, and then it's time for fun. So you obviously started your day with one telecall and then did some workout. So many people don't allow themselves to do something for them before they have done a hard work in order to make money. So just by changing that around, say, okay, I can start my day with something fun. That's actually not an income stream at all, because for just doing workout is not an income stream on its own. But the way you immediately turned the fun of doing workout into a possible revenue stream by thinking or considering creating an app for people in a hotel room, this is exactly what shows up when you function from what's fun for me. This comes naturally. I'm so grateful for you, Simone, for sharing this story. This is how fun makes you money, by doing something that you really enjoy, by doing something that's fun for you. That automatically, that download happens.
Yeah, it does. That's true. That download happens.
And you don't focus on it. You do it, you enjoy it. The next thing is, oh my God, I wish I could do that every day, but I'm traveling so much. Oh, wow, maybe an app, maybe in the hotel room. And one leads to the other. But it all started with your choice to do workout. But you didn't do the workout. Okay, how will the workout turn into a revenue stream? No, you just did it. You allowed yourself to do something that's fun for you. And automatically something came up that could or might turn into a revenue stream. And you don't have to develop that app tomorrow. It's just allow yourself to play with these energies, allow yourself to have these dreams, and allow yourself to be that for a while. And the more you practice that, the more you allow yourself to be that, the more revenue streams and the more fun stuff in your life will show up. And if you practice that for a while, it will become an autoresponder, an autopilot. Everything that's fun, you'll turn it into a revenue stream. This is where I function from.
Yeah.
And actually you, Simone, as well. This is why we are never frustrated. I mean, we do things that are tough once in a while, but we are over within a heartbeat. And 90%, and I think from your life, Simone, 95% of what you're doing is really fun for you.
Yeah, it is. And my recommendation would be to go check out Right Riches for You, and we'll talk about the classes that David has upcoming, is to not sort of avoid this or turn a blind eye, as they say, to what we're talking about, because it is a possibility. And I do see that people make things, when you make it about money, it will always be about money. That will be the significant thing in your life, rather than the choices that you can make. If you've followed any of my stuff, you'll know, I have a good story, as my PR agent says, that, I was $187,000 in debt when I met Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, and Dr. Dane here, and I had nothing to show for it. I was having a good time. I didn't have much to show for it, but I was avoiding money and I wasn't looking at it. But I always chose what worked for me and what was fun. Like, no matter what that took and no matter what it looked like, the thing that I did change was my awareness around my financial reality. I chose to become aware, not making it about it. Like, that's one of my key things that I'm always saying, hey, be aware of what something costs you, like what it costs to run your business or your life, etc. But you don't limit yourself based on that. You choose more based on that. There's always something more available. Like, I remember the days of, traveling economy and barely being able to pay for an economy ticket to go to the US. And it's like, now I'm booking first class tickets around the world. Like, I booked a ticket the other day, and the flight agent said to me, she happens to know me, she's been to a few Access classes, and she said, Simone, I really want to thank you. She said, I realized how comfortable I was being in my life and what I was creating. And you went along, asked me to book this ticket for you. And it ended up being like, $20,000 for all these different places I'm going to in the world, first class. And she said, I looked at that and went, that's about a third of what I earn a year. And she's just booked one ticket. And she said, and I know your story of different, places that you started. You don't have to have a story, a poor, pitiful, scarcity story, but just know that you can always create more. And now I'm like, of course I'm going to travel first class. It's like, hello, I got a lot of things out there to do and create, but I don't have a judgment of it. And I know that I can create it. And that's the difference. You have to know that you can create more.
And that doesn't mean that everybody on this call needs to go for a first class travel in the future. It is something that's fun for Simone. It's also something that's fun for me. But right riches for you means that whatever you do, as long as it's fun for you, it works. So there's no, I'm right in being rich because when I'm rich, I'm traveling first class. When I'm rich, I'm having a certain car. This is functioning from proving that you're rich. It also means, right riches also means that whatever works for you and makes you happy, if that happiness is a revenue stream you can live off, it's your right way of being rich. So there's no recipe, there is no bullet point list to check off. It's really what works for you and what's fun for you. And there are so many ways out there to have fun with money and wealth. We can share more stories of what is fun for us, but what we would really like you to be is an inspiration for everybody else, showing them that whatever works for you is the right way of having money and wealth. There's no recipe of how to be rich. Whatever leads to the fact that you have a smile on your face is one of the right ways to have joy and fun with wealth and riches.
And David, it's funny because I can hear my dog barking in the background. I don't know if you guys can, but just before we started this show, our dog washer showed up. Now he loves his job and he loves my dog. And like you can see the sheer joy in this dog washer's world. And I know he doesn't look at his job as, oh, I've got to go to work sort of thing. He's like, oh God, how lucky am I? I get to drive around to people's places, pull up in his big truck that has all the, the mobile bath for dogs, and he gets to play with dogs and he loves it. And it's $35 a pop, to wash the dog, but he loves what he does. And it's like, that's, I think where, what you're talking about, David, and I'd love everyone to get that too, because you said it's not about calibrating the amount of money that you have in your bank account to declare that you're rich. It is having that joy in life and having that fun in life. Like the guy washing dogs loves it.
Yeah, I think it's the amount of smiles you're giving out to other people. That's actually what makes you a successful person. And this is actually something I would, if we have time, share it as well. Consider the question or ask yourself, what is success for me? I went out with some friends a few weeks ago, and one had a guest over from the Middle East who traveled around Europe to find out what is success in Europe. So he traveled around Europe and was asking people, what is success for you? And then he asked me the same question. And immediately I came up with the answer. For me, success is to wake up in the morning with a smile and the desire to start my day. So whatever that is, whatever that is, whatever makes you happy, whatever causes you to smile, if you have that every day, you are successful. So my advice for you or for everybody, for all the listeners would be, as long as you smile in the morning when you wake up, you are a success. Don't focus on what you are doing, and don't focus on the amount of money you're making, and don't focus on all the investments or assets you have. If you wake up smiling every morning, you are successful, very successful. This is something that this reality is missing. It's happy people who enjoy their life. And this is what I want to see out there. I want to see more of that, more of happy people, more of people who do what works for them, what makes them happy. So a little bit more of that, and we all would be more successful.
I love you, David Kubes. You are such an inspiration, and I love that. It's like right riches for you. It's like waking up happy. So I know one class that you have scheduled because it's during a Choice of Possibilities class in Turkey that I am doing. And I think you're going to be doing an evening class there on the 9th or the 10th of March.
On the 10th, it's on the 10th of March, this day 2 of COP.
The 10th of March. Awesome. So, and you can come to Turkey or it's live streamed. So you'll be able to live stream that from anywhere in the world. So if they want to find out more about where they can do that from, David, where do they go to?
Well, they can visit my Access Consciousness profile on the Access Consciousness website. The class is already up. It's David Kubes. You find me under this facilitator section. Just sign up, log in, come to Turkey or listen to audio live. The class title is Legally Creating Money and Wealth. I will be talking also about the burdens of this reality, bureaucracy, taxes, all these things that keep people from creating as well. But the essence will be the same. How can I make money with being a happy person? And how can I legally create that money? There are so many ways around all these burdens that this reality puts upon us. And actually, it's easy to create a business. It's easy to make loads of money. And it's actually joyful to pay taxes as well. There's nothing wrong about it. There are ways around it. I would love to share some of the tools that I used in my life to get where I am now. So if you're interested in this evening taster class, go on my Access Consciousness profile under accessconsciousness.com. And would be lovely to see you there or hear you.
Yes, it would. So in Turkey, or actually live streamed, I think it's going to be live streamed. So you can watch David, and he's a very handsome man, so he's worth watching. And he does always have a big smile on his face. So.
Oh yeah, and even now it's even bigger. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me, David. People can also go to rightriches.com or, as David said, accessconsciousness.com. And don't forget to check out lots of websites here, SimoneMilasas.com, Milasas. And if you're interested, gettingoutofdebtjoyfully.com. It's a book that I wrote. I did a year-long course last year. We are starting the 2018 course on the 10th of January. So you can go check that out on gettingoutofdebtjoyfully.com and join up for the year. There's been lots and lots and lots of brilliant feedback from people being so grateful for the changes that they have created in their lives with everything, not just with money, with their entire lives. So it's been brilliant. I'd love to have you join us for 2018. So thank you, David, for joining me today. I'll see you later on today at our Access Christmas party.
Oh, yes.
In the sun, drinking champagne. I love it.
I love it. And thank you so much for inviting me again to your awesome podcast. I really enjoy them. Thank you, Simone.
You are so welcome. Thank you, David. I'll bring you on next time, and I'll see everyone soon. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.